Okay, everyone, it is time for the NFL Playoff Preview Podcast here at Fade U. We've got Joey Cheese and a guest over here on Jordan going to be coming in and telling us a little bit more about what we like and what we don't like. A lot of interesting matchups out there. We've got some younger teams that are new to the playoff picture with some rookie quarterbacks. We've got some veteran teams with some more experienced coaches. Going to be interesting to see how this balances out. Ideally, what we're hoping for is some good games, but we'll listen to the Cheese Man here and see if he's got any massive whales for us that he thinks are just absolute blowout dumpster fires. With that, let's turn it over to the Joey Cheese Man and see what he's got going for us.
Morning, boys. Nice to see you. Jordan, thanks for joining us. Chase, thanks for setting everything up this morning. Real quick, before we get into it, Jordan, why don't you let Fade U followers know where they can find you? Give them a little background on Taproom Sports, what you are involved in. Why don't you go ahead and do that now?
Yeah, man, you could follow me on Twitter at Jordan Rules TSP, part of the Taproom Sports podcast. We're actually rebranding coming up here in the next week, so stay tuned for that. And then also doing a coast-to-coast crossover with Cheese and Buff as well, which will be coming out every Wednesday. And then we're going to try to do Saturday mornings too. That's all college hoops. So you can find me. That's what I do. I also do a blog, coast-to-coast crossover, always all college hoops. I try to post every night as well on there. So that's on coasttocoast.substack.com.
Cool. Yeah, Jordan, thanks for having us. Yeah, like he said, new show through Taproom Sports, the crossover. We just did our first show about an hour ago, so happy to be involved with that. But back to Fade U. Me and Chase are staples here. We are here regularly, ready to talk NFL, talk a little bit about these matchups coming up. So yeah, let's jump right into it. First game kicks this afternoon. We have the the LA Chargers, -3 versus Houston. Total set at 41.5. Before we get into this game, do either of you have a strong opinion either way before I give my thoughts on this game?
I have a strong enough opinion to probably play it.
Let's hear it. I'm all in. Let's hear it.
I'm going to lean Chargers. The Texans missing, one of their star receivers is going to change the dynamics of that offense. They have not been great offensively since his absence. Defensively, I just love the way Harbaugh coaches. They're going to keep this game within grasps. They're not going to let it become a track meet, even if they wanted to. And I love them in a ground and pound football game. I would be looking at that lower total as well. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring affair, but these are the types of games that Jim Harbaugh historically has been really, really good in. And I give a huge coaching edge to someone with his experience over DeMeco Ryans. I'm definitely leaning Chargers, and I normally hate road favorites.
Yeah. Jordan, you have anything on this game?
I mean, I don't have a ton of conviction on it, but I do agree with Chase. I do think that if I were to play a side here, it would definitely be the Chargers. I think both these teams defensively are really good. Houston's obviously top 6 in defense. Chargers are top 10. Both are good against the run, and we've seen DJ Stroud kind of take a step back this year. And like Chase alluded to, he's been missing receivers all year, but they haven't really had a ton of continuity. And then obviously Tank Dell's out for the year now as well. I agree. Like lane 3 on the road is tough, but if I were to play a side here, it'd be Chargers. It's Chargers or pass for me, but I like the under better, but 41.5 is really low. It's really low.
Yeah, no, listen, I totally agree with you guys here. So what's keeping me off of the Chargers as of right now is some of my buddies and our buddies, whatever, some of the sharper guys I know all really like Houston here. Gave me some hesitation when looking at the Chargers, but under no circumstance whatsoever would I ever be backing CJ Stroud here. Like Chase said, Harbaugh, huge coaching mismatch. And you know what? it hasn't been until recently that I've ever really put much into the coaching edges in sports for this. But like, dude, we just watched like coaching blunders left and right in the college football playoffs. Like, Chase talks about it all the time. Cheese, you're a fucking asshole. I can't believe you like Franklin. Like, dude, please save your money. Hard-headed me, I still bet fucking Franklin. We all saw what fucking Sark did last night. Like, not giving the ball to fucking Manning at the 1 yard line, running it outside. Dude, like it's starting to make me look a little bit more at these coaching edges and like where they come into play and how important it really is. And guys, like when I'm looking at this here, it's like, dude, this might be the biggest coaching mismatch in the opening weekend of NFL playoffs. Harbaugh is that good. He proved it in college. He proved it in the NFL. He turned this Chargers team around that wasn't very good last year. He's gotten a bunch more out of Herbert than I expected. They run the fucking ball down your throat and they play fucking defense. So yeah, I mean, but like, but we get back to the laying chalk on the road. It's like, do I really want to lay 3 on the road in the playoffs? Like I'm not running to the window. I'm not running to the window to do it. I'm not going to sit here and give out minus 150 or minus whatever the money line is on the Chargers. But man, like if there's ever a time that I'm giving out the money line in a spot like this might be it. There is a chance come this afternoon that I tweet out Chargers money line to just escape Houston with a W.
I think it's an interesting thing too when you look at some of these games that teams that want to play that way, like Notre Dame reminds me so much of that this year. It's like they want to muddy it up and make it a awful game that's going to be tight score-wise one way or the other. That's the way they play. I think the Chargers are the same way. In those types of games, I think coaching is a big deal. It's anybody who makes a mistake is likely going to lose.
Dude, you're so right. You're so right. Jordan, why don't you touch a little bit on the total? I know we both talked earlier how we both had a strong lean to the under here. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, like if I talked about this on Wednesday when we did our Taproom preview too, and I said the total was a little low, but if I were to play anything in this game, it would definitely be the total because both these offenses, the Chargers ranked 21st in total yards, Houston 23rd. I mean, neither offense has been very good. Obviously, the Chargers really want to run the ball, but what do the Houston Texans do really well? They only allow 114 yards per game, only allow 4.3 yards per rush, which I think is very important there. So Houston, obviously, DeMeco Ryans is a defensive head coach. What does he always do first? He wants to stop the run and force you to pass. And that's what you really have to do against the Chargers because the Chargers don't have any weapons on the outside. And on top of that, the Texans have 2 very good cornerbacks in Jeff Okudah and Stingley. Sorry. So I think it's going to be very imperative that the Chargers, are able to run the ball. I agree with Chase. Like, I think whoever makes a mistake in this game is going to end up losing. That could be a turnover, could be a bad coaching decision on fourth and short and a turnover on downs. But man, I really think this is going to be. I don't think either team is going to go out there and score a ton of points. Like, I think honestly, this is going to be like a 17-14 type game. Like, it's going to be very low scoring. We probably only see 1 or 2 touchdowns in the entire game.
Dude, Jordan, I'm sick, man. Like I look at this game. I've looked at it for countless hours over the last week. Like, I wouldn't be shocked to see this like a 13-9 Chargers kind of game. Like,
yeah,
as crazy as that sounds. Yeah, like, wouldn't surprise me one bit to not see Houston get in the end zone. But like on the flip side, it's like I don't know how convinced I am like the Chargers score a ton of points here either.
Not that it's going out on a limb, but Derwin James is the X factor. He's so good in the run game and being able to come up and read plays. He's just got really good football instincts. And if the Texans have to throw the ball, if they're just going to sit back in the pocket and throw the ball because they can't run with Mixon, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think it's a
I
recipe
agree.
disaster for both teams, to be honest.
Without a doubt. Absolutely. All right, cool. Yeah. Let's move on to tonight's game, which I have been back and forth on so many times. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who we all have seen just not look very fucking good the last few weeks. Traveling to Baltimore. Baltimore is currently a 9.5-point favorite with a over-under set at 43.5 for essentially what is a division game here in the playoffs. These two teams have played a bunch with each other. Chase, do you have an opinion here?
My opinion is there's no way I can play this game. If I was gonna play it, just simply because it's a division game, I have to pick the Steelers. I can't possibly lay 9-10 points with a favorite in a divisional game in the playoffs. But having said that, the Steelers have looked terrible. So I just don't know if I want to step in front of the Ravens at this point in time, but I can't possibly back them either.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong at all here. There is a less than 0% chance I get to the window playing the Ravens in this spot. It would, without a doubt, be Pitt or pass for me. The 9.5, 10 points, wherever the market ends up by game time, is absolutely fucking disrespectful to Tomlin. It is disrespectful to a Pitt team who, in my opinion, had a pretty good season, played well. Some might say overachieved a bit from what we expected going into the season. But, man, they are a team reeling right now. Like, they look bad.
Bring in Justin Fields.
Like, I don't even know. I don't even think you're wrong. I don't even think it would be necessarily a bad decision to sit Russ and let's see what Justin could do with the football. But not a game I have a ton on, not a game I want to spend a ton of time on. Jordan, anything here from you? Ravens, Steelers, over, under, anything? You have anything here?
This is another game. If I were to play, I'd probably look at the under, and people are going to be like, well, the Ravens score a ton of points. Yeah, I get that. And Pittsburgh's defense hasn't been very great, but you know what Pittsburgh is good at? That's stopping the run. They only allowed 98.7 yards per game. That's obviously what the Ravens want to do. We've also seen Lamar Jackson in the playoffs before. He's not the Lamar Jackson of the regular season. So I might get to the window with the under on this one. I do think that this game is going to be under, which obviously probably also alludes to the Steelers covering the 9.5, 10 points, whatever it's at. I agree with both of you. Taking Pittsburgh here is obviously probably the right choice. However, this has been a weird fucking NFL year, and double-digit favorites are covering like fucking every week, and just things that we are normally routine to, that's ingrained in our heads. Like, you just don't take double-digit fucking division favorites is like out the window now. So lean the under here. Right. Yeah, lean the under here. No conviction on a side. Would play Pittsburgh if you put a gun in my head.
All right, fair enough. Let's move to Sunday and tomorrow, which is probably my strongest opinion on the board as of right now. Chances are will probably be one of my larger wagers of the week. The Buffalo Bills at home versus the Denver Broncos. Bills are currently laying 8.5 across the board, over under 47.5. This is a spot where I expect Josh Allen to come out ready to fucking roll. Let's send Denver packing. Rookie quarterback on the road, hostile environment, snow on the ground. Man, this is a spot that I've been saying it all week. I think Buffalo comes out and lays the hammer. I think this number is really short at 8.5. I make this game minus 11. I think anything under 10 points is a gift. I have this game Buffalo 37, Buffalo 37, Denver 10. I think they could absolutely steamroll them here. And I know, man, across Twitter, across social media, everywhere, there's a ton of love for Bo Nix. Do not get me wrong. I was here on the Fade You pod prior to the season saying that I thought he was the best rookie quarterback coming into the NFL this year. So nothing has changed there. Bo Nix had a great season. What he did was impressive, but you are now walking into a gauntlet. I think Buffalo absolutely kills them. This is a team on a mission. I fully expect them to handle business at home. Jordan, do you have anything here in this game?
I'm with you. I definitely lean Buffalo here. Again, I talked about this game on Wednesday, and I'm not really high on Denver. I think Denver has played a lot of bad teams, and they beat up on a lot of bad teams, and they can only play who's in front of them, and that's credit to them. But a lot of shit has gone their way, dude. Like, they probably should have lost the Browns game on Monday night. A lot of wonky shit, 2 pick sixes in that game. Pick sixes are not very sustainable week to week, right? And obviously Josh Allen, he's thrown his fewest interceptions in his career this year, so I don't expect him to be turning the ball over to Denver's defense. It's really hard to say with Denver here because their data is so skewed because of who they played. And then you look at the good teams they played, they've gotten like slaughtered, like 44-10 against Baltimore, right? So it's just so tough to grasp this Denver team. But I'm with you. Rookie quarterback on the road, first playoff game, 0 chance I could back Denver here.
Yeah, Chase?
I mean, the only concern I have with that is Bo Nix is also like damn near the oldest rookie ever. So it's not like he's 21 years old. So because of that, I think he's proven like, hey, we can't really look at him as like a regular rookie because he's just been around football for a lot longer time. Having said that, I mean, look, I think it's probably a little more lower scoring in the first half than everybody thinks it's going to be. That Denver defense is pretty good, but over time, that Buffalo run game with Josh Allen on the ground is just going to wear you out. I could see Buffalo pulling away late. I think Denver is just better than everyone has given them credit. Jordan, you're right. I mean, they have definitely beat up on some bad teams, but I mean, the win total on this team was 5.5 this year. Like, they have been wildly better than everyone's expectations. So it wouldn't shock me to see him hang around for the first half, especially with a good coach like Sean Payton. But I think in the end, Buffalo probably just beats them up and wears them out late.
Yeah. It's Buffalo here, man. Like, I think this is the year Buffalo has a chance to make a run. Still would not, in my power rankings, would not expect them to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think this is Buffalo's best team they've put on the field in quite some time.
This is the best Josh Allen, too.
It's the best version we've ever seen of him.
Yep.
It's the best version we've ever seen of him, without a doubt. Let's move on to arguably the best game of the weekend. Philadelphia Eagles laying 5.5 at home, over under 45.5 versus somewhat banged up Packers team. No Watson. Saw Jordan Love hurt his hand. Chase, you have an opinion here?
I think it's not as strong as everyone else's. I mean, I do like the Packers. I think the Packers have a team built to play on the road. Obviously it's nice when you get to play at Lambeau in that nasty weather, but I think the big thing is that they're a run football team, and like, they're not asking Jordan Love to sit in the pocket and throw it 40 times a game. He's capable when he needs to throw it, but a lot of what he's doing is off play action. Josh Jacobs has been the focal point of that offense. That translates really well on the road. This Eagles defense has been pretty good. In general, across the board, they've been pretty good. But if they have a weakness, if you can get a couple yards of carry, you get 3, 4, 5 yards of carry on them. Now, all of a sudden, that play action is going to force them safeties up. So I think that's where they're a little more vulnerable, just from a scheme standpoint. I like the Packers to keep it close at the very least. I think they've got a really good shot of winning outright, especially because the Eagles are definitely prone to turnovers. So that would be the direction I would lean.
Yeah, I mean, everyone remember, I actually believe it was opening night in Brazil. Eagles in Brazil beat the Packers by 5. I think it was 35-29 or something. It's a weird score, whatever. I think Eagles win that game by 5 or 6. Now at home in the playoffs, like you got to lay under a touchdown. Not a spot Jalen Hurts hasn't played in a little bit. I wouldn't be overly excited to back the Eagles here. I'm not running to the window to play the Packers either. I do think I will ultimately end up at the window on the Packers, but haven't gotten there yet. This total 45.5, I think is a little inflated. I think it's a little high. Gun to my head in this game right now, it would be under 45.5. I see this being a 17-14, 21-17 type of game. So no strong enough conviction for me yet. We still have 36 hours till kickoff or whatever it is here. So I will get back in the lab and see where I end up. But Jordan, opinion here for you. Packers, Eagles, Hurts coming back. Looks like Love's playing. His hand seems to be all right. Where do you stand?
Yeah, I mean, since the Eagles put Cooper DeJean in the starting lineup for the defense, the Eagles have been the best defense in the league.
Yep.
They were very susceptible to the pass game to start the year. They have the best defensive line, in my opinion. I don't think that's out of the question. I think hands down they are the best defensive line. It's hard for me to
That's
get to
disrespectful to the Kansas City Chiefs, by the way. That's disrespectful.
I don't care. I think the Eagles' defensive line is superior to everybody. I mean, they got 2 first-round picks on that defensive line, 2 cogs in the middle. It's just tough to run the ball against them. And like I said, with Cooper DeJean in the secondary, like they haven't been giving up a ton of explosive plays anymore, which killed them in that first matchup against the Packers, if you remember. So I'm actually with you, Cheese. I think the under actually might be the play here, because obviously everyone's going to look at that first game. They're going to be like, oh, well, this was a shootout. So they're going to like obviously lean to the over. But I think this is going to be – both teams obviously want to run the ball, but both defenses are great run defenses too. And both these quarterbacks rely on play action pass. So I think that's going to be shut down. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. I could see the Eagles win this like 20-10. I do think the Eagles win. I actually did a money line parlay with Tampa and Philly. That was like my only NFL play that I put in this week. It was plus 133 earlier in the week. I know the Eagles have moved a little bit since then, but I think the Eagles win this game.
I think the key is you hit the nail on the head. If you can run the ball and run play action, whoever can do that is going to win. That's why I think the weakness is exactly what you said. The Eagles defense is only susceptible to the pass if Cooper DeJean has to come up. If you have to bring those guys up to stop the run and help in the run game, now they're susceptible on the back end, which is where Jordan Love's going to have success. I think the same thing works in reverse. I think it's exactly the same for the Eagles. So whoever can run the ball probably wins the game.
Saquon Barkley is so filthy. He's so good.
Yep.
He is
Those Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, Jacobs ain't no slouch, man, for sure. It's like his career came back to life leaving fucking Vegas. Shocker. He left Vegas. And
That's pretty much everyone.
Leaves Vegas and all of a sudden you're a fucking superstar. Shocker.
The Giants have the same effect.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we've got 2 more games to get into real quick. Let's talk Bucks -3 at home versus, in my opinion, a winner of Eagles Pack wins NFC. Yeah, Barb, I probably agree with you there. Bucks -3 at home versus, in my opinion, an extremely overrated. Sorry, AK, extremely overrated Washington team here. It would be Bucks or pass for me here. Baker Mayfield is fucking it's like Oklahoma Sooner Baker back again. Like the kid looks like he like loves playing football. He's like, slinging the ball all over the place. He's not turning it over like we're used to. This is a Bucks team that quite frankly could make some noise in the NFC if they win this game. It would be Bucks or pass. Washington, I believe, is getting too much love for what I would call they're probably a little overvalued based on what we saw from them in the regular season. I don't think they're very good. once again, rookie quarterback on the road. Daniels, you're going to have to prove me fucking wrong. Chase, any opinion here?
Yeah, I've had a pretty strong one. I lean Bucks. The reason being, I've probably made more money on Washington football team games than any other team. And the reason is because I figured it out pretty early in the year that they played a weak schedule. I mean, they played a bunch of bad teams. And when they play bad teams, they not only win, they cover. I mean, they beat the shit out of bad teams. But when they actually had to play a playoff team, a team with talent that was kind of equal on the football field, they didn't do so well. So now that you're in the playoffs, exactly what you said. You've got a rookie quarterback. Dan Quinn's got a lot of coaching experience, but it's his first year coaching here. So at the end of the day, he's not as familiar with that personnel as everybody else that, the other personnel that he's had so much success with in different places as D coordinator. I don't look for Washington to really put up a great performance. I would expect them to be a little loose just because that's the way their team is played. Throw it all over the yard, running crazy quarterback stuff when they're basically unscripted. You get a veteran team with the Bucks. I mean, this team is old. They have been around a long time. There's not a lot of youth on that football team. So you get Baker Mayfield, who's been in the league now for quite some time, seems to have matured. I like the Bucks in this spot. Pretty heavy, actually.
Dude, you used the word there, and the minute you said it, it like hit home. Like, dude, Baker has fucking matured. It's crazy. Like hearing you say that out loud, I'm like, wow. Like this is a guy who had Johnny Manziel vibes, like, written all over him for years. And it's like, wow, like Baker really has matured. He's probably put together probably I would certainly call him above average NFL career so far, but like he's probably starting to finally play to his potential.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his numbers this year, I've got him in our dynasty league, and I mean, even I was surprised. I'm like, dude, he put up some numbers this year.
It helps throwing the ball to Mike Evans.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the dude's performing
for sure. Jordan, what do you got here? Looks like you're eager to get in here. What do you got?
Yeah, man, I love the Bucks. Again, I played them on a money line parlay with Tampa and Philly. I don't mind laying the 3 here as well. I think the Bucks cover pretty handily here. I think they actually blow Washington out. Washington is terrible against the run. They are 30th against the run, allowing 137.5 yards. Tampa averages over 150 yards per rushing per game. I think Tampa is going to control the game with Bucky Irving and company on the ground, which is only going to open up the passing game for Baker Mayfield. And on the flip side, Washington, everything that Washington does starts with the run. And Tampa is one of the best teams against the run with Vita Vea in the middle. So I think it's going to be very difficult for Washington to run the ball here. I expect Tampa to handily win this game, dude. I think this is going to be the biggest blowout of the weekend, to be honest. I can't believe it's only -3.
Wow.
I mean, look at the records.
It's funny. It's funny you say that. You finished with something that I wanted to touch on, where you said, "I can't believe it's only -3." That has definitely led to like a little bit of hesitation on my side. Like, why are the Bucks only -3 at home? But we have seen. I mean, look around, ticket count, money. Like, Washington's getting a lot of love in the market here. I know some guys that really like Washington. I mean, this is a team that they've proven they could score. Daniels has looked really good. But like we said, it's playoff football now. You're not playing the Dallas Cowboys or the New York Giants. I think your fun has come to an end. Jalen Daniels, have fun in Cancun, buddy. We'll see you back in September.
And honestly, I think Washington has a great future, dude. I think they have a beautiful future ahead. I think they're way ahead of schedule, similar to Denver. I think Denver's ahead of schedule. I think reality is going to hit both those teams this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Washington, if you just look at Washington's schedule, like I said, I started figuring it out early. I'm like, they beat Carolina. Woohoo! Like, congratulations. They just didn't beat anybody good. When they played good, absolutely playoff teams that we knew were going to be playoff teams in week 4, week 5, they got trounced.
Yep. Agree. Let's talk about the last game of the weekend. Monday night gets moved over to gets moved into the state of Arizona. The Vikings, we've seen them move from -1 to -3, and probably the first neutral site NFL playoff game I could remember off the top of my head.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't think of another one. So yeah, Vikings have moved to -3 in the market versus the Rams in a rematch from, I think it was like week 12, week 13, where the Rams beat the Vikings 20-10. I've had a strong opinion on this game since it opened. I lean the Vikings. Little upset I did not play the -1. Total 47.5. I could see a fucking shootout with this game being indoors. Sammy D didn't look very good last week versus a superior Lions D. I don't think we see that from the Rams here. Quite the drop in class as far as the defense that Sam Darnold will be seeing here. So yeah, my early and late opinion here is Vikings or pass. Probably there is a good chance I do get to the window here in this spot. Chase, what do you got here? Anything?
Normally, just without some of the other circumstances, I loved the Rams spot because the Vikings have got a great record. They've looked really good most of the year. Unfortunately, they just got slaughtered by Detroit. So coming off a really bad loss, I expect them to be dialed in and bounce back. If they were playing in Los Angeles, this is probably a complete no play for me. But with it being moved to Arizona and all the craziness going on in SoCal right now, who knows what kind of practice schedule and stuff they've put together for Los Angeles this week. The air, I guarantee you they're not practicing at the facility. The air quality's got to be garbage. So I just don't know what to expect out of this Rams team. I've been higher on the Rams than almost everybody all year. I had the over season win total. I've rode them most of the year because they look ugly, but they win a lot of games. I don't see how this is going to break in their favor. So I'm probably like you. I'm probably Vikings or bust. But boy, I hate it because when that line opened around Pick'em, I was like, man, everyone's going to love the Vikings to just win this game.
Yeah. Listen, real quick before we get to Jordan, like you just said something. It's like, yeah, so everyone's going to love the Vikings. You expect everyone to jump on the Vikings. Guess what, dude? Everyone's been fucking right all year long. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that narrative is out the fucking window for me. I don't care if the ticket count is 100% to 0%. Not one person in America is on the fucking Rams. Like, that has meant nothing all year. If anything, they've been cashing tickets left and right while I've been sitting here ripping shit up, throwing it in the fireplace. Like, the public sharp shit, it's meant nothing in the NFL.
It has not been helpful.
Dude, I read the other day, excluding week 18, where we saw, half the quarterbacks play, guys sitting, resting, a bunch of chalk didn't cover for the first time in fucking 13 weeks. Since like week 5, favorites have covered like 64% or something crazy. It's like, what the
76% since week 8.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Even worse. Yeah. So like all that narrative shit, it's out. I'm back to old school handicapping. That's out the window. I don't care if Circa needs the fucking Rams so they don't have a bad weekend. All that shit's out the fucking window. Like,
I would give you just a little cause for pause on that. I mean, if you're looking at just X's and O's, look how veteran this team is for the Rams versus what you're getting from the Vikings. And you get a great head coach in Sean McVay, who's got a shitload of experience in this space. I mean, look, I'm with you. I probably lean towards the Vikings, but just I'm not as strong on it because I think this Rams team's been undersold all year. Because again, if you watch them play, it ain't pretty. Like, it's not fun to watch. They're not a throw it down the football team like everyone would think a Matt Stafford team would be, and they're kind of ugly, but they win ugly.
Kyron Williams is good, dude.
Yep.
Yeah. Jordan, anything here?
Yeah, I lean the Rams in this one. The Vikings offensive line, obviously, since Derek Saw went out, is just awful. And the Rams don't get a ton of sacks, but they do get a ton of pressure with that defensive line. Jared Verse is one of the best defensive rookies. But it's hard to back a team who's won already. Like, it's hard to beat a team twice in a season, which is like what gives me more hesitation than anything. But like the numbers wise, I actually think the Rams and also moving to Phoenix changes a lot of things too. But man, I think this is going to be a better game than most people are giving it credit for. Like the Rams, they're top 10 in passing per game, and the Vikings are fucking terrible against the pass. Also, Matthew Stafford is he's such a veteran, dude, that like Brian Flores' defenses give a lot of young guys problems, right? But they don't give Matt Stafford problems. Like he's gonna throw it all over the field like he did the first game. I don't think that's gonna be an issue. Where Minnesota like has an edge is they run the ball, and the Rams are not a good run defense. And I think that's where Minnesota really holds the edge. So they're gonna have to run the ball to win this game. Again, no play for me here, but I definitely lean the Rams in this one.
Yeah. But guys, listen,
many
like,
wild factors.
So many, dude. With this game moving to Phoenix, I mean, line moving from 1 to 3. I mean, a lot of stuff's happened in the last couple days. But yeah, like excited. NFL playoffs are here. Also, very like a little disappointed. Like the season's almost over. I remember being midwinter here last year. Super Bowl just ended a couple weeks prior. It's like, damn, like I can't wait till September. Football starting. Like, it was here in a matter of no time. And dude, this season just absolutely flew by. Haven't produced the winners I am accustomed to here in the NFL, up and down season for myself. I know some guys have gotten really killed this year in the NFL, so I'm grateful I'm not in that boat. But haven't cashed the tickets I would like to over the course of the year. So hoping to turn it around here. But listen, for Fade You Sports, Chase McLongball, our friend Jordan, I appreciate everyone coming on and joining me Saturday morning. Yeah, let's hopefully cash some fucking
Let's
tickets.
win some games, damn it.
Let's win some, cash some tickets, and I will see you guys soon. So for Fade You, Joey Cheese, it was nice seeing y'all. Peace.